call it blue beat, they call it all forms of different names until now they call it reggae, which means king's music. Because reggae music is coming from way back, way black. See, people want to get close to this music.
However, behind his inspiring anthems and international acclaim lay a life marked by adversity. What challenges did Tosh encounter on his path to worldwide fame? How did his life end in such a tragic way? And what happened to the wealth he amassed during his illustrious career? Join us in today's video as we explore the untold story of Peter Tosh's journey, his enduring legacy, and more. Peter Tosh was a trailblazing Jamaican reggae artist whose influence on music and culture far surpassed his estimated net worth of $1.3 million at the time of his untimely death in 1987. At the age of 42, Tosh rose to global fame as a founding member of the Wailers, performing alongside reggae icons Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer before launching a highly successful solo career. His unmistakable voice and outspoken advocacy for social justice, particularly the legalization of marijuana, distinguished him as both a fearless musician and activist. Landmark albums like Legalize in 1976 and Equal Rights 1977 not only defined his artistic legacy but also contributed to his commercial achievements, cementing his status as one of reggae's most influential pioneers. Born Winston Hubert McIntosh on October 19, 1944, in Grange Hill, Jamaica, Tosh faced a challenging upbringing. After being abandoned by his parents, Alvira Coke and James McIntosh, he spent his early years moving between relatives. At the age of 15, he suffered another loss when his aunt, who had been caring for him, passed away. This led him to relocate to Kingston's Trenchtown neighborhood, a vibrant community that would deeply shape his musical aspirations and political awareness. Tosh's entry into music was unconventional but showcased his extraordinary talent. As a teenager, he observed a man playing the guitar for hours and memorized every movement. When the man stepped away, Tosh picked up the guitar and flawlessly replicated the song by sight alone. Recognizing his innate ability, Tosh pursued formal training and became a student of Joe Higgs, a renowned vocal coach who offered free lessons to young artists in Trenchtown. It was through Higgs that Tosh crossed paths with two other budding musicians, Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer. In 1962, the trio began singing and performing together on Trenchtown streets, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become one of reggae's most iconic bands. By the following year, Tosh, Marley, and Wailer officially formed a group initially named the Wailing Wailers. Shortly after, Junior Braithwaite, Cherry Smith, and Beverly Kelso joined them. At that point, Tosh was the only member skilled in playing instruments, having taught himself both guitar and keyboard. His expertise encouraged others to start learning as well. Their big break came in 1964 with the ska hit Simmer Down, which quickly became a sensation across Jamaica. Over the next few years, they released several more successful songs, but Braithwaite, Smith, and Kelso left the group in 1965. Returning to a trio, the band launched their debut album, The Wailing Wailers, the same year. As their music transitioned from ska to reggae, so did their distinctive sound. By 1970, the group had shortened their name to the Wailers and began creating reggae hits that gained international attention. Their albums Soul Rebels 1970 and Soul Revolution Part 2 1971 featured songs like Duppy Conqueror and Soul Rebel, which played a crucial role in introducing reggae to a global audience. Their commercial breakthrough arrived in 1973 with the release of Catch a Fire and Burnin', which included iconic tracks such as Stir It Up, Get Up, Stand Up, and I Shot the Sheriff. Eric Clapton's cover of I Shot the Sheriff became a worldwide sensation, topping charts in the United States, Canada, and New Zealand. These successes solidified the Wailers' status as reggae legends. Nevertheless, internal conflicts led to the departure of Tosh and Bunny Wailer in 1974, leaving Bob Marley as the band's frontman. Following his exit from the Wailers, Tosh pursued a solo career where he could fully articulate his revolutionary ideals. His first solo album, Legalize It 1976, boldly championed the legalization of marijuana. While controversial at the time, the album became one of his signature works and was later recognized in the book 1001, Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. His follow-up album, Equal Rights 1977, was just as impactful, addressing issues of social justice and human rights. It reached number 146 on the Billboard 200 and eventually earned gold certification in the United States. Tosh's rising fame led to collaborations with prominent artists, including members of the Rolling Stones. His 1978 album Bush Doctor featured Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, broadening his audience. The album peaked at number 34 in Australia and number 104 on the Billboard 200. With his career on the rise, many people are also curious about Peter Tosh's personal life. Tosh experienced the highs of fatherhood and the depths of personal tragedy. In 1967, he welcomed his son, Andrew McIntosh, born to Shirley Livingston, the sister of Bunny Wailer, one of his closest musical collaborators. This joyful milestone was shadowed by heartbreak in 1973 when his girlfriend, Ebony, tragically lost her life in a car accident. Tosh himself sustained severe head injuries in the crash, leaving both physical and emotional scars that profoundly influenced his life and music. The anguish from this loss deeply shaped his artistry, most notably reflected in the song Why Must I Cry from his iconic Legalize album. Despite the sorrow, Tosh continued to forge connections and expand his family. In the early 1980s, he entered a relationship with Marlene Brown, which lasted about 5 years, starting in 1982, when she was 21. Over the course of his life, Tosh fathered 7 children, including Andrew and Jawara, the latter born to Melody Cunningham. Among his children, his youngest daughter Nyambe has been instrumental in preserving his legacy. On the other hand, Peter Tosh's artistic identity was deeply connected to his personal beliefs. Alongside Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer, he embraced the Rastafari movement during the late 1960s. Rooted in African heritage and resistance to oppression, Rastafarianism significantly shaped his perspective and music. Central to the faith is the belief in the divinity of Haile Selassie, the former emperor of Ethiopia, who is revered by Rastafarians as either a divine figure or a messenger of God. This belief inspired Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, and Bunny Wailer to undergo baptism in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, solidifying their spiritual dedication. Tosh's commitment to Rastafarian principles influenced his music and activism, as he used his platform to champion causes like social justice, equal rights, and the legalization of marijuana. Though renowned for his impactful reggae music and advocacy, Tosh also possessed a surprising skill: unicycling. After leaving the Wailers, he devoted time to mastering this unique talent, even incorporating it into his stage performances. Riding a unicycle during live shows became one of his signature moves, adding an energetic and unique flair to his concerts. All right, now let's move to another interesting part of today's video. Take a tour of Peter Tosh's home. But before we dive into it, please take a few seconds to subscribe to our channel, All Profiles. Your support is a great motivation for us to develop more. Peter Tosh's former home, located on Plymouth Avenue in the Barbican area of Kingston, Jamaica, offers a unique glimpse into the life of one of reggae's most fearless and revolutionary icons. Nestled in one of Kingston's more tranquil and upscale neighborhoods, the property reflects both the personality of its famous occupant and the cultural vibrancy of Jamaica. The exterior of the house, though modest in scale compared to lavish celebrity homes, is rich in character. The architecture features a blend of Caribbean charm and practical design, with a sturdy concrete structure, wide verandas, and louvered windows that invite in the island breeze. The surrounding garden, though now more overgrown, once flourished with tropical plants and fruit trees, providing a peaceful escape and a touch of nature amid the city's energy. Inside the home, the ambiance is both intimate and expressive, with rooms that hint at Tosh's creative and spiritual life. The layout includes several bedrooms, a spacious living area, and a modest kitchen, all decorated with earthy tones and handcrafted details. Tosh's affinity for Rastafarian culture was visible in the decor, with bold red, green, and gold accents, Ethiopian art, and spiritual motifs placed throughout the home. The walls may have once echoed with the sounds of jam sessions and deep discussions about justice and liberation. A small studio space, though not fully equipped by modern standards, was believed to be where Tosh worked on lyrics and experimented with melodies. The simplicity of the interior, combined with artistic touches, made it a space of reflection, creation, and rebellion. The home also included a number of practical amenities and facilities that supported Tosh's daily lifestyle. While not extravagantly modern, the house had running water, indoor plumbing, and electricity essentials that allowed Tosh to live comfortably while maintaining a grounded connection to his roots. There was also a small outdoor patio area, which served as a communal gathering spot. It was here that friends, family, and fellow musicians would often sit to reason, play music, or simply enjoy the Kingston sunshine. Security features, like a gated entrance and protective grills on windows and doors, were also part of the property necessary additions in a city where safety was a growing concern for public figures like Tosh. The neighborhood of Barbican itself played an important role in Tosh's life during his years on Plymouth Avenue. Known for its relative calm and proximity to cultural landmarks, Barbican offered a balance between seclusion and accessibility. Markets, record shops, and local eateries were just a short walk or drive away, giving Tosh the convenience of urban life without being consumed by its chaos. The surrounding area provided a sense of community, yet also allowed him the privacy to retreat into his work and spiritual practice. In many ways, the home served not only as a residence but as a personal sanctuary, a place where music, resistance, and peace came together under one roof. Not stopping there, Peter Tosh had a deep appreciation for classic cars, and his personal collection during the late 1970s to early 1980s reflected a bold and refined sense of style. One of the crown jewels of his collection was a 1979 Cadillac Eldorado. This American classic featured a massive 6.0-liter V8 engine and could reach top speeds of around 115 miles per hour, impressive for its size. Its long, elegant body and square, imposing front grille gave the Eldorado an unmistakable road presence. Tosh appreciated the comfort and commanding feel it provided, making it a favorite for both city drives and late-night escapes. Another standout vehicle in Tosh's garage was a 1980 Jaguar XJ6, a British luxury car known for its blend of performance and sophistication. With a 4.2-liter inline-six engine and a top speed of around 125 miles per hour, the Jaguar offered a smooth yet powerful ride. The exterior had a timeless charm, sleek lines, classic round headlights, and a polished chrome finish that gleamed under the Jamaican sun. Inside, the XJ6 was pure elegance, with fine wood trim, soft leather upholstery, and analog gauges that added to its vintage appeal. It was the kind of car that aligned with Tosh's deeper appreciation for quality and timeless craftsmanship. Tosh also owned a 1981 Chevrolet Corvette K3, one of the sportier entries in his collection. With its sharp, low-slung design and muscular curves, the Corvette was a statement of speed and attitude. Powered by a 5.7-liter V8 engine, it could reach a top speed of 130 miles per hour and accelerate from 0 to 60 in just under 7 seconds. The interior was driver-focused, with bucket seats, a 3-spoke steering wheel, and a digital clock, a modern touch at the time. Tosh likely enjoyed the thrill and rebellious edge that came with this American icon of power and independence. However, while Peter Tosh was enjoying the fruits of his illustrious music career, an unexpected, unfortunate thing happened and claimed his life. On the evening of September 11, 1987, shortly after returning to Jamaica, Peter Tosh was at his home when 3 armed men on motorcycles broke in, demanding money. One of the assailants was Dennis Lepo Lobban, a man Tosh had previously helped in his efforts to reintegrate into society following his release from prison. Despite Tosh's insistence that he had no money to offer, the intruders did not believe him. For hours, the men held Tosh and his guests hostage, using violence to try to force him to comply. As the ordeal continued, more of Tosh's friends arrived at the house, only to be captured and added to the group of hostages. The horrifying standoff eventually came to a tragic conclusion. Frustrated by Tosh's refusal to cooperate, one of the gunmen opened fire, shooting Tosh twice in the head and killing him instantly. Herbalist Wilton Doc Brown and disc jockey Jeffrey I. Dixon also lost their lives due to injuries sustained during the attack, while several others, including Tosh's common-law wife, Andrea Marlene Brown, were wounded. Lobban later surrendered to authorities and was sentenced to death, though his sentence was eventually commuted. 2 other suspects were detained for questioning, but only one faced trial and was acquitted due to insufficient evidence. The death of Peter Tosh sent shockwaves across Jamaica, but the turmoil did not end there. A heated dispute arose over his burial, with Marlene Brown reportedly attempting to block Tosh's mother, Alvera Coke, from burying him in his hometown of Belmont, Westmoreland. Ultimately, the government sided with Alvera Coke, and Tosh was laid to rest in a specially constructed mausoleum. Adding to the controversy, 2 men stepped forward claiming to be Tosh's father. Alfred McIntosh supported Brown's assertions, but James McIntosh was later confirmed as Tosh's biological father. James revealed that he had reconnected with Tosh years before the musician's passing. Legal battles over Tosh's estate persisted for years. Although his wealth and royalties were intended to be distributed among his 10 children, in 2014, his daughter Aldrina McIntosh filed a lawsuit accusing her younger sister Namba of withholding payments from their siblings for a period of 5 years. Although Peter Tosh's life ended tragically, his legacy continues to exert a profound influence. First, let's review with us the impressive milestones in his music career. In 1978, Rolling Stones Records, the label owned by the Rolling Stones, signed Peter Tosh and released his album Bush Doctor, which helped him reach a broader audience. The album included collaborations with Rolling Stones members Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Its lead single, a rendition of The Temptations' Don't Look Back, was performed as a duet with Jagger. That same April, Tosh took the stage at the Jamaican One Love Peace concert, where he lit a marijuana joint and delivered a fiery speech advocating for the legalization of cannabis, openly criticizing political leaders Michael Manley and Edward Seager for their inaction on the issue. Following the concert, the Gleaner reported that Tosh became a frequent target of police scrutiny. In September, he was arrested at Halfway Tree Square for allegedly smoking marijuana and assaulting an officer. While in custody, Tosh claimed he was brutally beaten, sustaining a broken hand and head injuries that required stitches. Tosh's subsequent albums, Mystic Man 1979 and Wanted Dread and Alive 1981, were also released under Rolling Stones Records. Although Tosh tried to gain some mainstream success while keeping his militant perspectives, was only moderately successful, especially when compared to Marley's achievements. In 1984, following the release of his 1983 album Mama Africa, Peter Tosh entered a period of self-imposed exile. During this time, he sought spiritual guidance from traditional medicine practitioners in Africa and worked to extricate himself from recording contracts that distributed his music in South Africa. Tosh had been in conflict with his label, EMI, for years, criticizing them for insufficient promotion of his work. Tosh also actively opposed South African apartheid, participating in anti-apartheid concerts and expressing his stance through songs such as Apartheid 1977, re-recorded in 1987, Equal Rights 1977, Fight On 1979, and Not Gonna Give It Up 1983. By 1987, his career appeared to be experiencing a resurgence, highlighted by his Grammy Award win for Best Reggae Performance for his final album, No Nuclear War. In 1993, the documentary Stepping Razor, Red X, was released, providing an in-depth exploration of his life, music, and the events surrounding his murder. This film, which drew from a collection of spoken word recordings by Tosh himself, became available on DVD in 2002. Today, a memorial dedicated to him stands near Negril, Jamaica. Maintained by his family and open to visitors, it serves as a gathering place where fans celebrate his birthday annually with live reggae performances. Tosh's contributions to Jamaican culture and music have earned widespread acclaim. In 2012, he was posthumously honored with the Order of Merit, Jamaica's fourth highest national award. In 2016, coinciding with what would have been his 72nd birthday, the Peter Tosh Museum was opened in Kingston. The museum showcases personal memorabilia, including his iconic Mi-16 guitar. His global impact on music and activism received further recognition in 2023 when South Africa awarded him the Order of the Companions of ORTAMBO. In October 2019, a commemorative blue plaque dedicated by the Nubian Jack Community Trust honoring Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer was placed at the former site of Basing Street Studios in London, where Catch a Fire and Burn In albums were completed. Additionally, Tosh's influence endures through the work of the Peter Tosh Foundation, which strives to fulfill his vision by promoting education, fostering partnerships, and empowering individuals. One of its flagship efforts, the Peter Tosh Town Initiative, focuses on uplifting the Belmont Bluefields community in Jamaica, where Tosh was born, reflecting his lifelong commitment to justice and human rights. In conclusion, Peter Tosh's life was a powerful blend of music, activism, spirituality, and cultural pride. Despite facing hardship, tragedy, and even a violent end, he remained steadfast in his mission to speak truth to power and use reggae as a tool for liberation. From his early days in Trenchtown to his rise as a solo artist, Tosh carved a legacy defined not just by chart positions or album sales, but by the messages he carried and the lives he touched. Whether through his bold lyrics, his symbolic home in Barbican, or his stylish classic cars, Tosh lived with intensity and intention. His enduring influence, now preserved through museums, foundations, and honors, proves that Peter Tosh was more than a musician, he was a movement. And that's the end of today's journey. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Want to keep discovering the lives of fascinating people? Make sure to subscribe to our channel, all profiles, and turn on notifications. We'll be back with more soon. Until then, stay safe.